the kitchen, folks. Today I'm going to make a chocolate, fruit and nut apple flapjack. So here are my key ingredients, starting from the left. So my apples are coming from some homemade applesauce, which are simply steamed apples from my garden, which have been pushed through a sieve and then boiled with sugar. Nothing else to it, nothing more fancy than that. Because it's flapjack, I need porridge oats, and I've got a fair few here. Chocolate, fruit and nut. There's my chocolate. So I've got 2 packets of dark chocolate and I'm going to have some cocoa powder. My fruit will be sultanas, cranberries, some chopped prunes and some seedless raisins. And my nuts are there. I'm going to crush those down. And I'm also adding some crunchy peanut butter as well. And because I'm adding crunchy peanut butter, I'm not going to add normal butter into this also. I'm going to add a little bit of sweetness with some golden syrup, although the fruit that's going in this and the chocolate and the applesauce all contain sugar, so this should be a nice, sweet and very flavoursome treat. So let's crack on. So I've got my super red mixing bowl here, and my first job is to get that applesauce in there. I'm going to use the entire jar. Applicious. It's quite a loose applesauce, so I'm going to shake a little bit of cocoa powder in to begin with. And then using my wooden spoon, I'm going to mix that in so it all mixes nicely and changes the colour of the applesauce to chocolate brown. So I'm just going to give my chocolate a bit of a bash. Yeah, I think we can consider that bashed. And as ever, the product must be quality tested. It's dark and delicious. So it's fairly nicely broken up, but I'm just going to make those pieces a little bit smaller. And when that gets poured into the mixture, and now it's time to give it a good stir in. So that is my chocolate in my flapjack mix. So it's time to add my fruit. I'll begin with a few cranberries, just a nice little sprinkle of them. Then a few sultanas. Then some seedless raisins. And finally, a few prunes. So prunes are basically dried plums. Not to everybody's taste, but I really like them and I think they go really good in cooking. Don't be afraid of trying things. That's all the fruit in. Let's just give it a nice stir around so everything's mixed well. Right, let's go nuts. So I've got this device from Pampered Chef. I don't actually know what it's called. I just call it the Whopper Chopper, and I'm going to use that to break down my nuts. So to that effect, I'm just going to pour some nuts in here. Put the bottom on, flip it over, and now you'll see why I call it the Whopper Chopper. Here goes. Whoa! It's quite a violent recipe, isn't it? Anyway, here's my chopped nuts. So I'm just going to get my nuts out and empty them into that. And then give it a good stir round. You want your nuts really mixed in. Oh, I can really smell those nuts. So there's more nuts to come. I'm going to get these out of here now. And I'm going to put them into my red bowl. Sorry, Mickey. I love my nuts. So there's my peanut butter in the bowl. That's now going in the microwave to melt a bit. And I'm just going to cover it over because I don't want my nuts to spatter. So while I'm waiting for the peanut butter to melt, I'm just going to add some golden syrup into this mixture. I'm not afraid. Be generous. Get it in there. And as with the other stuff, the golden syrup needs stirring in, and that's immediately made this mixture a lot smoother and more liquidy. Oh, there goes that microwave. So there's my microwave peanut butter. Let's get that in. My sloppy nuts. Oh, listen to that. Sizzling. Oh, the smells are tremendous. So the mixture so far is looking good, but I need to get my oven on. So I'm just going to put it on at 180. It's a fan oven. Right, let's get some oats in. I like some oats with my nuts. And it's time to get all this stirred together now. And I'm going to keep adding oats and stirring until I've got a good stiff mixture. Definitely one that you can stand your spoon up in at the very least, and one that offers some resistance to stirring. You want it to really absorb as much of the moisture as possible. I think we can say that that is a good stiff mix. Okay, I've got a round baking tin which I've lined at the bottom with some greaseproof paper, and at the sides I need to push this into the edge with the mixture. So it's simply a case of mixture in, and then pushing it down so it fills the edges of the tin and traps that paper in place so it doesn't stick. I'll come back to you in a second when I've done that. And this, ladies and gents, is not looking too bad, and it's now ready to go in the oven. Okay, that's going to be in the oven for 45 minutes to begin with. Then I'm going to have a look at it and see how it is. It's a very thick and stiff mixture, so I'm putting it in for a bit longer than I normally would, and I might end up leaving it in for a bit longer than that. But I want to feel the texture of it in 45 minutes. I'll come back to you then with an update. Okay, 45 minutes is up. Let's have a look. Smells amazeballs. Oh, it looks quite good actually, nice and toasty on top. Let's get that shut. So bear in mind that it is dark, but it has got that cocoa powder in it. It's nice and springy on top, just what I wanted. Okay, I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip it and I'm going to put it back in upside down for just 5 or 10 minutes. So I'm just showing you how I flip it. I just use a plate on top, like that. Then my oven gloves, because the tin's obviously very hot. Turn it over and hopefully the greaseproof paper, yep, has been my friend. Now, because this was very moist inside, yeah, it feels a bit damp still on this side, so I'm putting it back in this way around now. I'll put it in for 10 minutes. We'll just sort it out. So I'm simply going to transfer that from here onto that greaseproof paper on that flat oven tray and then put it back in. Nice and easy. Okay, so that is now going to go back into the oven. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes later, let's get this out. And I am happy with that. I'm going to keep the oven door shut because I've got a biryani to go in there. It's kind of looking like a bit of a Christmas cake base, isn't it? That looks okay to me. It's a good thick flapjack. Okay, so here it is, now on my chopping board. It's out of the oven. This has now dried nicely, and what I want to do is cut it before it cools too much. Okay, so you'll see there's a bit of a crack here. Unfortunately, that's happened as I've been moving it. But what I want to do is try and cut this across and then into nice size portions. So let's just see how this goes. Okay. So there's a bit of breakage here, so this is going to be difficult to rescue, but the rest of it should be reasonably okay, I hope. You can see there's a lot of steam coming out. It's extremely hot, and it might not look as pretty as it should. Okay, I think at this point what I'm going to do is put these on the cooling rack and leave that as it is on the cooling rack and see how this works out. Okay, it's the next morning, and yes, I did make a bit of a faux pas cutting this while it was warm. I should have waited till it was cold. I think I panicked a bit when I saw that it had cracked, and I thought I better get it cut for some reason, and I don't know why. Anyway, I'm going to cut it now, and you'll see that it does cut into nice small pieces. Okay, so let's get this into some nice delicate pieces, not big chunks like I did yesterday. So there it is, in nice smallish pieces compared to the big door wedges. That's yesterday's door wedge, that's this morning's cut cold. Definitely better to do this cold. Now I've cut them cool. That's what I should have done yesterday. I don't know why, but for some reason I panicked when I saw it cracking and thought, oh, I need to cut it up. Crazy, I don't know why I did that, but anyway, I've let it cool and it's cut nicely. Now, if it was a thin flapjack, you do cut them hot because otherwise sometimes they can become brittle and difficult to cut, but this is thick like a cake. Let's have a look at it. Because it's thick like a cake, it's better to cut it once it's cooled down. So here's a piece of that flapjack. Now look at the different layers that have sort of appeared in there with the chocolate and the fruit and the oats and the nuts. I think that looks quite nice. But as ever, the proof is in the eating. Let's find out. Crumbly. Absolutely spot on. You get the flavour of the oats and the chocolate massively. Pieces of fruit, and then that nuttiness comes through. The apple you can't really taste in there. It's more of a bulker, but we know it's there. Oh, it's lovely. This will go very nicely with a cup of tea. Anyway, cheers folks, and I'll catch you on the next film. The film that you've just watched is a Moss Home and Garden production. You can find more by going to www.mosshomeandgarden.co.uk. I'd just like to say thank you very much for supporting my YouTube channel and for watching my films. It really is very much appreciated. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel in order to receive future updates about the home and garden films which I upload. You can find my YouTube channel by going to www.mosshomeandgarden.co.uk. Please click on the red subscribe button. When you've done that, a little bell will appear. If you press that also, then you'll get future updates about the films which I upload. If you like my films, if you like my style of filming, then you might also like my travel channel, which you will find by going to youtube.com/Stuart Moss or type in www.mosstravel.tv. Again, if you could subscribe to that channel, it would be hugely appreciated. If you'd like to get Moss Home and Garden updates on Facebook, then please open Facebook and do a search for Moss Home and Garden, and you will find the page. If you like the page, then you will get future updates on there. And if you'd like to connect on Instagram for home, garden and travel photography, as well as some stories, then my username is StuMoss, STUMOSS. If you'd like to connect on Twitter, then my username is @StuartMoss. And if you'd like to contact me about film usage or any other issue, please just email me on stewmosshomegarden@gmail.com. Once again, thank you very much for supporting my channel, for watching my films. I do appreciate it. I'd just like you all to have a great day.